forward 32 years. After that winter's night of 1983. Yes, really. To the evening of March 24th, 2015, when my wife and I were dressing for a party, and I was running late, as usual, because of work. 15 is not an easy age, Lee was saying. Jesus, 15. How can you and I have a 15-year-old daughter? Aren't you only like 30? Yeah, right. My dear thing, you and I both qualify for AARP membership. I'm 10 years from Medicare. You are only 3 years from a full pension. We both— Oh, dear God in heaven, stop. We were interrupted by a stern voice from downstairs. Moms, we gotta go. I shouted back over my shoulder, half buried in the depths of the closet. 2 minutes. I can't find my shoes. If it's the shiny black ones, I have them. Wear your other pair. Hey, I protested. You've had them for months and you never wear them. Come on. I crawled backwards onto my heels and glared at Lee. When did our sweet baby turn into a teenager? She says she's wearing my shoes, and I picture a 4-year-old clumping around the house. She's nervous about the boy. And speaking of ancient and tottery, can you hand me my cane? The pretty one. You okay? She'd been sitting when I came in, so I hadn't seen her moving around yet. Fine. It's just the cold makes me stiffen up. I might need it later. It wasn't the cold. It was the bullet she'd taken in her spine. Long years of grim therapy, cutting-edge medicine, and sheer luck meant that she walked now instead of using a wheelchair. But she would never stand up without considering how to do it. Just like I'd never shake the guilt I felt every time I saw her brace herself to rise. Because, like I said, I'm a cop with the San Francisco Police Department, and it was my very first case in homicide that brought the gunman to our door. I did nothing wrong. Nothing that everyone else in the department didn't do wrong, up to and including my then-partner, the great Al Hawken. But it was Lee who paid for our collective inattention, the one who was still paying. I watched her stand now. She was working to make it look nonchalant. At the same time, I could see it wasn't as bad as it sometimes got in the cold, so I handed her the brightly patterned cane and headed downstairs. I was distracted. By Lee, by the guilt, by dark thoughts, by the snark in a teenaged voice. And it was wintry, as it had been on that night in my dorm room 32 years before, and maybe there was something about the light in the hallway. Whatever the cause, when I looked down and saw Nora at the foot of the stairs, I blurted out something I'd never have said if I'd been paying attention. Geez, you look like Patty. She didn't, normally. No reason she should, since they weren't biologically related. Nora's hair was blonde and curly, like Lee's. She wore glasses, and she didn't always bother with makeup. Tonight, though, her hair was pulled smooth against her head and she had on her new contact lenses. Also, her makeup was pronounced, and that salmon pink she was wearing matched a shirt my sister had adored and that impatient tip of her head. Anyway, deep down in my traitorous brain, a long-buried memory had twitched and made the jump onto my tongue. Her frown deepened. Who's Patty? Oh, crap. I continued on down the last stairs. She was my younger sister. You have a— Oh, yeah. Car accident, right? Long time ago. Honey, you look fabulous, even if you are stealing my shoes. I threw my arms around her. I'll admit, with a touch more emphasis than I might have, if I hadn't been trying to distract her. God, you're a giant. The 2 inches of borrowed footwear, along with the height she'd got from Lee, meant that I, who'd come down the stairs barefoot, carrying the second-rank heels, almost fit under her chin. Just what every teenage girl wants to hear.